What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are checking out the all-new BMW XM. This is, as you might know, only the second full M car that there has ever been. The first one being the M1. The first one being the M1 back in, what is it, the 70s. The supercar that was just incredible. And then they decided, okay, we're going to build another dedicated M car, and it was the XM. Now, as you know, if you've seen my review of about a year ago, I really don't understand the car. I think they made a lot of mistakes with their approach and the setup and how they went about developing it and setting it up. And well, today we take another step in this weird XM journey, because this is a 50e XM. So they decided that this is only their second full-blown M car, and is now available with a 50e drivetrain. So that is the hybrid B58 drivetrain, which is amazing. It is an amazing drivetrain, but is it worthy of your full-blown M car? I don't know. It brings me to my conclusion of last time, which is they should have just called it X8, just a coupe version of the X7. They could have done X8M, X8 M60i, X8 50e. It would have just made more sense, if you ask me. But here we are anyway. I'm going to show you around it. We'll take a look at the spec, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for the Autobahn Blast. So we've got this Marina Bay blue today, which is quite nice. I like this color on this car. It makes it, I don't know, a little bit less of an eyesore, because of course it is, yeah, it's a very divisive car. It is controversial. As I've said in the last review, I've kind of gotten used to the front. I don't hate it. I think it looks kind of cool and kind of intimidating and angry and sort of cyberpunk Tron, I don't know. It kind of works for me. It's so over the top that I think it's cool again, sort of. But I don't think it's very pretty, and the rear end is just horrible, and the side profile. But anyway, we've got these 22-inch multicolor wheels with an M logo there for the XM. Behind that, regular steel brakes. We've got P0s around that. These are 275s on a 22-inch wheel. And we've got quite a harsh suspension setup. It's quite firm, of course, because this car is so big, so high, and it weighs like 2,700 kilos. And they still wanted to drive and handle like an M car. They had to really like beef up and firm up the suspension. Apparently they made some changes recently to the XM to make it a little bit less harsh. XM badge and the black stripe. Now I read somewhere that this is how you can recognize a 50e, that you have this black stripe here, but I'm not sure about that, because I think I've seen XM V8s with that black stripe as well. We've got this lower black part as well to kind of break up the car, and then at the rear we've got 315 rubber, so massive rubber there on the rear. You get the stacked exhaust, just like with the V8. Honestly, it's very difficult to tell them apart, the V8 one and the 50e, but you can see the valve in there, and this is a proper exhaust. Look at that. You can actually see inside the pipe. The tip is connected to the exhaust and not to the bumper, which is great. And then you can see the massive rear silencer here, but it actually sounds pretty good. It sounds a lot better than other 50es. So yeah, they kind of did good on that. At least you have sort of an M edge on that. You get this XM bag as well for your charge cable, because this is a plug-in hybrid, of course, which is tied to this little M ribbon. And then you have a very high floor. As you can see, this, you can lift this up. So yeah, storage space is not that big for a car that is this huge. You do have quite a bit of leg room in the rear though. So this is, even though you have the big M seats, this is very spacious, because this seat is back very far. So yeah, this is good. You've got Alcantara headliner as well on this car, and then the geometric shape for the roof. which still looks like a sunroof to me, but it's not. And you've got this illuminated edge as well. But rear seat space is really good. So this is like proper for adults comfortable, but you can't take 4 adults worth of crap with you because it's kind of, you know, limited luggage space. So this is a little nod to the first full-blown M car, the M1. They had this on the rear end, they had these 2 logos on either side. And yeah, kind of blasphemy to me, but anyway. Let's check out the engine. Because this, of course, is what has changed. So let me just turn off this diagnostics mode. I need that because otherwise the lights will go off. And I wanted to show you guys the lights with this on. See, it's off immediately. So in here, big strut brace. And we've got the B58, one of the best engines BMW has ever made. Combine that with an electric motor that is incorporated into the ZF 8-speed gearbox, and you get 475 horsepower and 700 newton meters of torque, which is kind of weird because they have the X550e, they have the 550e, they have 489 horsepower. And if I go to the BMW website, everywhere it says 475, right? So 475. 197 from the electric motor and the rest is from the 6-cylinder, and then down here suddenly it says 489. So I don't know what is happening there. It would have made more sense to me that they would have just used that 489 horsepower version that they use in the X5 as well, but I don't think they did. And even worse, why didn't they use the M760e drivetrain with like 570 horsepower? I just, again, there are so many choices here that I don't get, because that is basically the same drivetrain. Maybe they could fit the electric, you know, the battery pack in here. I don't know. It's weird to me. So what you end up with this 2.7 ton car is it goes from 0 to 100 in 5.1 seconds, which is like the slowest full-blown M car since, I don't know, the E36 probably. Which is also kind of weird, and it's slower than a BMW X3 M40D or a BMW M235i Grand Coupe, the 4-cylinder. I mean, it's just so slow. I don't get it. It just, to me, this is like BMW saying, we know that there are a lot of people that don't care about what kind of engine there is in an M car. They just want the M car to be able to say that they've got it and to be able to drive around in it. I know that there are a lot of countries that have a taxing system based on engine capacity, so I'm guessing Asian countries, this might be a lot more interesting. In the Netherlands as well, it's not that expensive. It's 140,000 euros, like it is right here, spec'd, you know, to the brim. The price is not bad. 140k for this big of an SUV, super luxurious. Yeah, I mean, I do get it. I get the proposition. I get that this is a good deal, basically, but I don't get that you would throw your M heritage and everything you've built in the last 50 years. I guess they want to sell more cars, and yeah, who can blame them for that? But it just kind of hurts me in the feels. It hits me in the feels. Anyway, interior exactly the same as the other XMs. So you do get some proper metal speaker grates, which you don't get in a lot of new BMWs. So that is great. You get the regular steering wheel as well, which is great. And you get all digital, which is not great, but it does look a little bit better than the latest versions. I like this a little bit more. Carbon fiber here on the dash in matte, which also looks nice. Your cup holders here, which are heated and cooled. Some storage in here. Really good M seats. Very comfy and yeah, very supportive. So a benefit of the fact that you've got a full-blown M car, even though you have a 50e drivetrain, is that you do have the full M setup. So you can do the drivetrain, the recuperation, suspension, the steering and the braking, and of course the MX drive, which you can set between four-wheel drive sport and sand. So Let's head out for a drive. We can do hybrid mode, which means that we drive off fully electrically. You can do that for up to 88 kilometers. And top speed is 140 kilometers an hour in electric mode, which is not bad actually. So let's go to full-blown sport for the tunnel. No, we're not going because the horses are here. But you can hear immediately that there is definitely some exhaust sound here, which is nice. So this I do get. The B58 sounds very good in this. Also, it kind of handles really great on B roads. When you're on it, it is pretty damn impressive what they've been able to do with this massive 2.7 ton car that's over 5 meters. It's just, yeah, it's kind of impressive. Do I understand it? No. But am I impressed? Yes. So we could also do launch control, which gives you that 0 to 100 in 5.1 seconds. Boom. Which, yeah, it's not that fast. It's really not that fast. 5.1 these days is like, it's a bit of a letdown. You have a little bit of a bump there, so I always know that you can kind of upset the balance there and get it to go a bit sideways, but it doesn't really like to do that. It starts hopping and skipping and yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, that's impressive. So I do like that. It's just when I drive it around normally, like around town or around, you know, through a village or something like that, it's just so annoyingly firm and harsh, and you're just always like that, and that is kind of annoying because, and this brings me to the same thing I said in the V8 XM. I kind of feel like this should have been super plush and like a basically sort of a Cullinan light, right? Because you can also spec it super crazy. You can have all these different colors in the interior, you can have crazy colors on the outside, two-tone. You can go just absolutely nuts with it, and I feel like maybe the people who are buying XMs would be happier with a car that is just really comfortable and just feels super luxurious and plush, instead of this weird super hard and stiff thing. So onto the Autobahn. Top speed is 250 kilometers an hour. It is very busy today though. It's yeah, the holidays have started. Definitely, it's first week of August, and yeah, you can just see that there are a lot of Dutch people going that way, and Belgian people going that way, German people going that way, a lot of like roof boxes and bicycles and stuff like that. So we have to take that into consideration, because these people also tend to go left without looking. Of course, we also measured the 100 to 200 performance, and we did a 1344 if I'm not mistaken, which is not bad for a 2.7 ton car with 475 horsepower. I do have one issue with that, which is if you look at our list, you can see its little brother, the X550E, which is of course quicker because it has a bit more power, and this is the limiter. The X5 has a little bit more power and it is a lot lighter than this, so it's kind of a weird vibration there, but that's probably just tire pressure. So yeah, again, kind of let down by that. I don't understand why they didn't give it a little bit more power than the X5 to just at least beat the most obvious direct competitor from your own stables, but that is just me. I don't know if that is not possible or why they didn't do that. I'm guessing they have their reasons for it. I know that I'm not the first person who says this. I'm assuming, I'm hoping, so I hope there was someone at BMW who said like, okay, we need a little bit more power, and they were like, we cannot do it. Absolutely no way. It cannot happen. The world will explode if we will give it more power. So then I understand. Anyway, I do think that this is such a controversial car. As I said, a lot of people hate it, but I do think that they also did this kind of on purpose, because they want a car that everybody looks at. And I think that the people who buy this car, they kind of like that. They like that everyone is like, oh, what is that? Look at that. Doesn't really matter if you think it's beautiful or you think it's horrific. It is a monstrosity, both in like the positive and a negative way. But I do think that they did a good job on that, because it is a head turner. So let's see. P0. Ooh, that sticks. I mean, that is pretty crazy, honestly. Now they start squealing a little bit, but that is honestly very impressive. So, another car that does not make sense to me, but I'm guessing there are people who are waiting for this car to be released. I've been disagreeing with BMW a lot lately, and I don't know, I do like this drivetrain. I think it's a really good drivetrain. I think it also feels a little bit more smooth than the V8 drivetrain. But I do like the price. I think that's the case in most countries, that this is a lot cheaper than the V8. So yeah, if you want one, run to the BMW dealership, because this is a good deal if you look at car prices nowadays. So I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button. Make sure you do that. Also, if you're already subscribed, because YouTube tends to unsubscribe people nowadays. You can also check out this video if you want to watch another one, or this playlist of reviews. See you at the next one. Bye.